we're going to take you back to 1974. I was a Boston Bruins fan growing up, and then when the Vancouver Canucks came along in 1970, well, it was natural for me to follow the Canucks because they were the closest NHL team. But it took until 1974 for the Canucks to gain relevance. That's the first year they made the playoffs in the newly formed Smythe division back then. The Boston Bruins also had a good year in 1974. Bobby Orr led the league in scoring with 135 points. Phil Esposito had 61 goals. It was a good year to be a Boston Bruins fan, at least during the regular season. In the playoffs, the Bruins met up with the Chicago Blackhawks in the first round, and back then they had a best-of-3 preliminary round. I know, crazy, right? All these best-of-7s that we have going on now. Well, in the first game, Boston whipped Chicago 8-2. Then Chicago won in Chicago in overtime, and then they went back to Boston, and the Blackhawks dropped the Bruins, and really that ended pretty much Bobby Orr's career. I think he played maybe 10 games for him the next year, and then Phil Esposito got traded the next year as well. So that was really the end of the Boston Bruin dynasty with Esposito and Orr, and kind of, I guess, when I started to lose interest in the Boston Bruins too, especially with the Canucks becoming a better team. So what I thought I'd do is play one of those games of that series, the Boston-Chicago series. Now, I already played game one. Boston got out to 3-0 lead in the first period, and then Tony Esposito shut the door for the Blackhawks. Chicago scored 1 in the first, 3 in the second for a 4-3 lead. They added 2 more in the third and won game 1 6-3. Well, now I've got game 2 ready to go. The third period, that is. The Boston Bruins, they need a win in order to get to game 3. Teams are on the ice. Boston's going to make one adjustment. They're going to not have their defense activated. They're going to leave their forwards activated, at least to start with. And Chicago, they are going to activate their D-man. So kind of the opposite thing there. They're not going to pinch a defense, not just yet. The game is getting close, so we're ready to go. Lines are out there. And let's get started. So the home team wins the face-off. Start in the neutral zone. Pass gets broken up. Boston has it in their own end. They're playing pass out. Defender D-men are not safe, so the puck goes all the way to the Chicago end. They control it, and that's going to be the end of that shift. That's a 55-second shift, which is a little different back in 1974 because you notice here it's 20, 35, 50. That's for modern day, but these older games, they were shifts were longer and they didn't roll 4 lines, so the best way to combat that is it's going to be 35, 55, and 70 are the times. Chicago starting out of their own end. Defender D-men active, they're not. They just stop them from being active, so Boston gets a puck in the neutral zone. They're going to pass it in. If the puck possession high pass assist is 6+, it is. They are going to get it in, and it's going to be the offense. It's going to be the right winger from a slot. He has to be a 5+, and he is. So Schmatz is a 5, so it's 5 versus a 6. And that's going to be a shot on net for Bobby Schmatz from the slot, but saved and held by Tony Esposito. So we're going to have another face-off. It's going to be in the Chicago end. Offense wins. They don't have momentum, so they're going to do a create. Try and make something happen. But they turn the puck over and Chicago takes over. They're going to pass it out. Defense is not playing pinch, so Chicago gets a puck into the neutral zone, and that is the end of that shift. So lines 3 are coming out there now. And you can see it with both these teams how the defense have got kind of only 5 D-men, so they're going to roll. The first lines of defense are going to play together like Redmond and White, or in Vadnais, and then they'll alternate with these bottom 3. That's kind of how I've been doing it. Okay, Chicago, going to start from the neutral zone. They are going to pass it in. It's a turnover. Boston gets a puck out to the neutral zone. They're going to pass in. They get in. They're going to have a shot on net. And if the forward, in this case is the right winger, has a shoot of 4.5, which he does not. He's only a 4, Terry O'Reilly, so they have to try and regenerate a shot because O'Reilly wasn't able to get the shot off. High defender, 7.5, they are, so Chicago gets control in their own end, and that's it. And we roll lines again, and kind of quite a few lull minutes to start the third period off here, just the way Boston would like it. Boston led 3-1 at the end of the first period of the first game of the series, trailed 4-3, and then lost 6-3. They were leading 3-1 at the end of the first period here, and now it's 3-2. So they want to try and force that game 3. Chicago is going to start out, whoops, not a neutral zone start, they're back in their own end. Passing out, plays broken up in the neutral zone, so Boston has it. They're going to pass it in. Defender causes a turnover. Chicago has it in their own end. They're going to try and pass it out. High O rate in the neutral zone is going to get it. So Esposito is 9-2 for Boston. It looks like that's going to be the high one. So Phil Esposito makes a play and gets control of the puck. And now the lines will switch. So really not much going on through the first 5 minutes of this third period. Boston neutral zone. They're going to try and pass it in. They get it in. They're going to get a shot. Shot's worth 5 seconds there. Forward block, 4.5. Well, the forward is the center. His block is only a 4, so it's not. So offense is going to get a shot from the slot. So it's the right D, and that is Carol Vadnais. He's going to be from the slot, so he's a 3. And no, Vadnais gets a shot from the slot. But there is an okay rebound on it because of the 10. Esposito wasn't able to control it. High defender forward D rate 6. They are. Cliff Coral 6'6". He makes a play and they take control of the puck. They're going to try and pass it out. If the puck possession forward, puck move 4+, they all are, so he is. They're going to move it all the way to the Boston end. They're going to get a create. If defense forward active, they are. So the puck possession team gets a choice from in, and that'll be Cliff Coral. He's an 8 versus a 6, 2. So Coral with a good shot on net here in the third period. But the save is made, but there's going to be a juicy rebound possibly sitting in there. Any offensive D-man passes this 5+, they're not. So offense is going to get a shot. So we're going to go to the next one here. They're 5 seconds off. The forward block 5, and all 3 are for Boston, so the puck is deflected out of play, and there's going to be a face-off in the Boston end. So another 55 seconds comes off. We'll move lines around. And it'll be Pitt Martin versus Andre Savard in the Boston end. So there's a tie-up after the face-off. High hitting is going to be 10.5. I think that's the highest in the game. That's Phil Russell. So Russell lays the body in, causes a turnover. Chicago gets the puck. They're going to try and make something happen, but they don't have anybody with a create. So they're going to have to go to a shot and see how that works, and it's a good one. Offense, which is now the right D, is going to get a shot from the slot. And the right D is Doug Jarrett. He's a 1. Maybe not the best chance for a goal here, but it's happened before. Not this time. Jarrett's shot from the slot is saved. That's a normal shot, not a rebound, so there is an okay rebound. Offensive D-man from out. The D-man is the right D, so now Jarrett is 2 versus a 7. And ended up being a 9, 5 versus a 9. So Jarrett got his own rebound, took another shot, but that's saved and held by Gilles Gilbert. And we're going to get another face-off. Defense wins. If offensive forward, high hitting 5+, and they are, forward though is right winger. And the right winger is not a 5+. So puck possession in 80 zone for Boston. So Boston is going to start out. So if that would have been John Marks, he would have made the hit, but Germain Gagnon didn't get the hit done, and so Boston's getting a chance to get out of their own end. They're not playing aggressive, so they give up the puck in the neutral zone to Chicago. They're going to pass it in. There's another turnover, and Boston moves the puck out to the neutral zone, and that's the end of that shift. And so actually, you know what? Chicago's going to go with their number 4 line, and so is Boston, because they got their number 1 set of D-men out there. So it's going to be 4th line versus 4th line. Boston starting from the neutral zone. They're going to pass it in. It gets turned over. Chicago has it in their own end. They're going to pass it out. Boston gets a neutral zone. They're going to pass it back in. Defender forward active. They are. They break up the play, and Chicago moves the puck out to the neutral zone. And so that's the end of that shift. So no harm, no foul for both teams with the fourth lines out there. Of course, Boston's fourth line scored the first goal of the game for them and really got them started. So maybe they'll come back to their fourth line a little later on in the third period. Chicago is trying to make a play in. They move it in. They're going to get a chance to make a play. If the defender D-man active, they're not. So puck possession team's going to get a shot. D-man block 7+. They both are, so there is. So we go to a rebound okay. Goalie rebound 7, and he is. Gilles Gilbert is a rebound 7. So Boston gets the puck. They move it out to the neutral zone. Now they're going to pass it in. They move it into the attack zone. High shoot is going to get a shot from the slot. The high shoot is going to be Phil Esposito. He's a 6. 6 versus a 6. Esposito gets a shot, but probably didn't get a whole lot on it. Tony Esposito makes a save, and that's the end of that shift. So this would be a time when teams might look at their strategy and decide if they're going to make a change. And I think right now Chicago is going to pinch up the D-man. They're going to want to go aggressive at some point in time if they don't score, but for now they're just going to keep it as it is. All right, face off on the Chicago end. Boldarev's going to win it for Chicago. They're going to start out from the AD. First possible penalty here. It's a 1-3. It's not. It's a 5. I'm going to explain the penalty thing here a little bit later with what I'm moving along, but basically it's an intensity meter, and I'll get that set up a later time. But the more intense it gets, the more there's going to be a chance for a fight. But we're not there right now. Chicago has the puck in their own end. They get it to the neutral zone, but Boston takes over. They try to move it in. If the D-man puck move of 5+, they are. Bobby Orr's on the ice, so they move it into the attack zone. Vadnais a good mover of the puck too. Here's a shot. Offense gets a shot from out, so it's a left winger. Needs to be 5+, and he's not, so Marcotte does not get the shot. So we just go to a rebound okay, because that's what it tells us to do underneath there in those brackets. If defense is aggressive, well, they're not playing aggressive yet, so offensive forward from slot. So forward is the left winger from the slot. So Marcotte, he's going to get a better shot here. 7 versus a 6. Marcotte, and he does not. Marcotte gets a good shot, but it's held by Tony Esposito. And so usually I only do face-offs if there's been 2 creates, and there's only been 1 create so far. And so we're still going to stay on the same card. We'll go to a new face-off. Boldarev wins again for Chicago. They're going to pass it out. Everybody has momentum or aggressive. And puck gets into the neutral zone. Boston takes over possession there. And we move 70 seconds along. And we go lines 3 out there now. So not a whole lot of action here in this third period, but maybe that's about to change. See if we get a penalty. We do. We got a penalty on the play. And it is going to be the highest on the home team, which is Phil Russell. And that's his second penalty of the game. So Phil Russell is going to make his way to the penalty box. Boston's going to go on the power play. And that's what I like about these team charts. Everything's set up, ready to go. Move those out of the way. This is the man advantage charts. And so what I'll do is I'll set a timer here. So 7:55 is going to be when the, 8:55 be 6:55 will be when the penalty's over. And so the puck is in, Chicago in, and that's where there's going to be a face-off. You notice that I don't always move this around. I just kind of sometimes wait till the end of a card or the end of a play. I just keep it in my mind where things are at. But you can move this every time if that's what you like to do. So we got a face-off, a tie-up. Defense aggressive, they're not. Offense controls in the attack zone. So it's 10 seconds off. Boston has the puck. They're going to try and create. Pass assist 6+. They have all 5 guys on the ice have that. High shoot from in. So high shoot is going to be Esposito. He's got an 8. And that's saved easily by brother Tony Esposito and for a face-off. And so that was 10 seconds. I didn't put the 10 seconds off. One of the problems I'm having is remembering to move time on a power play. Face-off, defender wins. If D-man puck move 5+, and both their D-men are 5+, they clear it to the other end. 20 seconds. Okay, Boston trying to move it into the attack zone. They make a good play and they gain control. 15 seconds in. They're going to try and create now. Passes intercepted. Defense moves the puck to the neutral zone with control. And so they got a chance now maybe for a shot on net or something. They'll try and take it. Short man moves the puck to the neutral zone. They're not able to make a play, but they still got control of the puck. So it's another 15 seconds off. Now maybe they're going to clear it. And they clear to the other end. And that's 25 seconds. There's only 5 seconds left to go in the power play. That would be new lines would come out there. They'd probably be pretty exhausted, those lines. Boston now will be moving it to the attack zone. The forward create 5+. So the forward would be the right winger. Right winger create 5+. He is. Enters the attack zone, offense controls. So that's the end of the penalty. And so we'll go back to these charts here now. And it'll be a chance for create for Boston. Choice winger from the slot. So this will be Don Marcotte. He's a 7. 7 versus a 6. And that is held nicely by Tony Esposito. That'll be a face-off. And that'll be another 10 seconds. And now we go back onto these charts here. Remember who was out on the ice. So we got Boston's going to have their third line out there. First line defense. And you know what? While I'm thinking about it here, this would be a good time for Chicago to start playing aggressive. Because they only get 5 minutes left, so just over. They get 5 minutes of aggressive, and so you don't want to wait too late. And so their aggressive is going to go right to there. So Chicago is going to be playing aggressive. Does Boston want to go safe this late in the game? You know what? They're going to try and protect their lead. They are. They're going to go to safe. Boston's going to play safe. Chicago is going to go all out. Let's see what happens here in the last 6 minutes and 35 seconds. Okay, the face-off, momentum or aggressive wins. So Chicago's playing aggressive, so they win the face-off and they control in their own zone. So we start with an 80 start. Defender's not pinching, so the puck to the defender zone. So Boston's back on their own end. They're going to try and pass it out. If their puck possession forward are safe, they are. That means Chicago gets the puck in the neutral zone, and that's the end of that shift. Another quick shift. I don't want the fourth line out there just yet. I'll maybe try them later, but not right now for Boston. Chicago comes in. D-man puck moves. They are 5+. They move to the attack zone. They're going to have a shot. And the shot says the D-man, the left D, needs to be 3+. He is from out. It's a 1. Phil Russell's a 1. 1 versus a 6. Phil Russell from out, handled easily by Gilles Gilbert. And he holds on for a face-off. The face-off says the defender wins. If the opposition D-men are active, they are, puck gets past them, and Boston is going to have an odd man rush. And the odd man rush says it is going to be a breakaway, and the breakaway is going to be, it's going to be Ken Hodge. So he's got an 8 versus a 6 here. 8 versus a 10. Ken Hodge scores for the Bruins on the breakaway. And so playing aggressive didn't pay off for the Blackhawks, having their defensive up. And let's just figure out who the assists are going to be. There's only going to be 1 assist on the play, and it is actually going to be Dallas Smith is going to get the assist. That's his second assist of the game. So Dallas Smith made the play. And face-off in the neutral zone. Visiting team wins. They got their second line out there versus the third line. And they are still playing pass in. If defensive is aggressive, yes. A nice offensive pass beats the D, sets up a shot +1. So there's a shot is a forward from out. It's a center, needs to be 5+. He is. Greg Shepard's a 2, +1 is a 3. 3 versus a 6. 3 versus a 9, he scores. Well, we didn't have much going on, and now we do. Now we got a lot going on, and that is, well, Chicago, they played aggressive at the wrong time because the cards didn't come up their way. So let's see who the assists are going to be. It's just going to be one assist again, and that is going to be Don Marcotte. Gets the assist, goal and assist for Marcotte today. And the Bruins may be breathing a little bit easier right now. 4 minutes and 5 seconds to go. Face off back in center ice. And I think Boston's going to put that fourth line out there right now because they can. Gives them their second. I like to have them go at least 2 times in a period. So the face-off, Chicago wins a face-off because they're playing aggressive. And so they're in the neutral zone. They're going to be passing it in. And they turn it over in an odd man rush for the Bruins. And it's another breakaway. And this breakaway is going to be Walt McKechnie. And he's a 6. 6 versus a 6. And McKechnie gets a nice shot from in on the breakaway. That means there's going to be a juicy rebound. Second high shoot from in. And the second high shoot is actually going to be the defenseman Daryl Edistran. And his is a 0. So all he can hope for here is a rebound. And he doesn't get it. Tony Esposito is going to make the save and hang on. And so they're going to 30, they're going to roll lines because they're probably going to come back to that first line here in just a minute. So that's in the Chicago end. Boldarev against Esposito. Home wins. They're going to start in their own end. They're going to pass it out. They get it to the neutral zone because Boston's being safe. They're going to pass it in. They're going to get a create. Create says if the defensive D-man D-rate 6-5, they are. They turn it over, and Boston gets it. They're going to play it out to center ice, and Chicago's going to pick it up there. So not a whole lot going on. On that shift, Chicago's going to go back to their first line, see if they can make something happen, but it's just almost a little bit too little too late with 2 minutes to go. Possible another penalty on the play. There's not. There's no 6s out there, so nothing changes in the intensity meter. Chicago's going to pass it in. Puck possession is aggressive, so the defender intercepts the pass for an odd man rush. Oh my. Chicago just picked the absolute worst time to play aggressive because they've not gotten any rolls at all. So it's going to be a 2-on-1. So it's going to be left winger, right winger. And the chart's off camera. You can't see it here, but it's a 2-on-1. It says if the creates are 5+, and they are. High shot from in +2. It says Bobby Schmott, so he's an 8. So it's an 8 versus a 6. Schmott's 9 versus a 1. So Schmott's got a good shot away, but that's saved and held by Tony Esposito. And they're going to leave the same line out there. So will Boston. Tap after the faceoff. High O rate versus high D rate. So O rate is 8. D rate is 8-1. So Boston actually gets the... and did I do that right? Sometimes I get confused with where I'm at. Anyway, I've got Boston in their own end right now. They're going to pass out. If any D-man is a puck move 5+, and they both are, they're going to move it all the way to the Chicago end. They're going to get a create. Create says any Pupo shooter create 5+. They are forward from in -1. So the center is going to get a shot. That's Greg Shepard. It's going to be a 5. 5 versus a 6. Shepard gets a shot from in. That's going to leave a rebound. It's an okay rebound, but the defense gets it. And that is going to be the end of that segment. And Chicago has it with just 55 seconds to go. We'll roll lines again, starting out of their own end. Turnover. Boston gets a shot. And the high forward block 5+, they are. Puck goes to the neutral zone. Chicago has it. They're going to pass it in. They're going to get a shot. Chance for one last goal for Chicago. Any forward create 6+? No. So it's forward from out. So the right winger needs to be 5+, and he's not. So it's a rebound okay. If right winger shoot 5+, well, we just had that. He's not. Else puck comes loose, and the defense has it. And they're just going to pass it out. If the forward puck move 4+, he is. They move it to the neutral zone. That's the end of that shift. And that is the end of the game. The Boston Bruins hang on for a 5-2 win here in Chicago, and they force a Game 3.